Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/JustNoMil. In today's episode, Scowling MIL and wedding photos. Baby started crying when picked up from MIL. MIL is digging the grave for her and her son's relationship. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Scowling MIL and wedding photos. My in-laws and I had a wonderfully friendly and cordial relationship until we began wedding planning. My MIL had a vision for the wedding that was far bigger than what my husband and I wanted. She insulted our plans and said it wasn't a real wedding and a few other not so nice things. We ended up changing our plans to minimize her responsibilities, limit contact with her, and proceeded with the wedding. The wedding day was a blur, but I'm extremely happy to be married and to put wedding planning behind me. She did not say anything nice to my husband or me on our wedding day and promptly asked for photos right after we got back to our B&B. Our photographer has sent us a few sneak peeks from the day and my MIL looks like she wants to be anywhere else but there. It's really a bummer. My husband and I and my family look great. I'm not sure what to do. On one hand, she is making herself look a bit foolish by scowling. On the other hand, I'm bothered, kind of sad, by the fact she can't even pretend to be happy for her son for just a few hours. I don't think they opposed the marriage, but I think it's just not the wedding they wanted. I generally have decent relationships with people. I know this is not on me to fix, but I'm just not sure how to deal with her and the photo she's in. She threw a tantrum because she didn't get her way and has to live with the results. My ex-MIL did this too. She looked like Grumpy Cat in every photo. It was hysterical. She hated the framed photo we gave her of FIL, her and my ex. She snapped, "Is that the best photo of me you had?" My sweet ex-BIL was the photographer. He told her, "Yes, Mom. I told you to smile." I like the idea of photoshopping a smile on her face. Ha 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 ha. Grumpy Cat indeed. Personally, I would put the scowling pictures on display. Let everyone see how happy and beautiful you were on your wedding day and what a pill your MIL was being. Pay a professional to Photoshop a smile on her face. My MIL didn't smile or even speak to me our entire wedding day. She has cat but face in every single picture. They came in handy years later when my DH denied she acted that way. He was finally coming out of the fog and our wedding photos were helpful in that process. You're not responsible for the facial expression she chose to exhibit for your wedding photos. Let her deal with the consequences. I agree with most here and would just ignore it. It was her choice to scowl, she needs to own it. Post and print the photos as is. If anything is mentioned, just say you didn't notice, as the only thing you could and can focus on is how happy you and your so are. Honestly, if I were you, I'd act like nothing is wrong. If she says something about it, just say, "But that's what you look like." Keep them. She made her choice and everyone will see how petty she is. When they ask, it will be up to her to respond why she was scowling. Personally, I would respond she was having some personal or tummy problems that day. The food didn't agree with her, or I don't know why. It was such a beautiful day. Everyone else looks so happy. When she asks why you chose to scowl, what were we to do? Not have any pictures of you at your child's wedding? Baby started crying when picked up from MIL. Well, the title pretty much sums it up. I never let anyone watch my 9-month-old baby girl. She's with me all day long every day. We play, laugh, have fun, etc. I take her places. I do not get mad at her. I never yell at her. I let my Mil watch her today while I went to get my nails done for my anniversary this weekend. When I went there, she was sleeping in my MIL arms. When she finally woke, my Mil came to give her to me. My baby acted like she didn't want me and immediately started bawling when I got her. My MIL loved this. Did an evil smile with a giggle. She's always been like this. Passive aggressive, etc., so I know my baby is just a baby. But my feelings are hurt pretty to the core. And the fact it was towards my MIL makes it 10x. Any advice? I'm sick. This is normal for babies and small children. They hold it together while they're away from their primary caregiver, and then when reunited they melt down. It's a sign she's attached to you and feels safe enough to lose it when she sees you again. Try not to let it get you down. Thank you for this. It's just the fact she did that then was reaching for her again. Then my MIL gloating about it. My MIL is that insane that I know she's thinking, oh, I just knew she loved me more than her, etc. Totally agree. I work in a creche with babies and toddlers. It is so common for the children to just suddenly burst into floods of tears when their mom comes to collect them. Totally normal behavior, love, don't worry. The first time I had to leave my daughter overnight around your kiddo's age, she did great the whole time, and the second she saw me, she lost her shit. It was explained to me that it was her realizing I'd actually been gone and she hated it. Please try not to feel bad, I know it's so hard. You're her sun, moon and stars and you came back, very big feelings. Hard agree with others who are saying MIL's gloating is the bigger concern. You're doing great, mama. Your MIL enjoys hurting you, especially via your baby. I'd ground my decisions on that. I know. If only it was that easy. Unfortunately, my husband works for them. So stuck between a rock and a hard place. If it makes you feel better, all my kids do fine at preschool, both grandmas, their dad, aunts/uncles, etc., but the second they see me they burst into tears. It used to be a running joke my husband would always say, they're happy as a clam all day until you come along. I've read many articles that babies hold it in until they're with someone they're truly comfortable and safe with, that they can release all their emotions. One time I called my mom to let her know I landed and will come by to pick up my kid, and my kids overheard my voice on the phone and became hysterical. It's happened other times when I travel too, even when they're with their dad. It sucks though that your MIL thinks it's because the baby prefer her. That is definitely not the reason. You got your nails done. It's quite likely there was an unpleasant smell on you from the salon that she didn't like. They are very sensitive to smells. That's what I came to say. Babies cry when overwhelmed. It isn't unusual for a time around your baby's age where I would pick my son up from daycare and he'd burst into tears. He was just overwhelmed. It wasn't that he didn't want to go home, he just couldn't contain his emotions. You're right. If she wasn't reaching back to her for her to hold her again, it would be different, uneasy face. I know this sounds overdramatic, but I feel like I've failed as a mother. Don't read much into that. Babies are emotional and express it with crying. She could have been expressing missing you. My daughter did that sometimes when picking her up from daycare, then hung on me crying later. This actually shows a pretty good attachment. This means your baby was fine without, but then when she was back she realized she missed you. Babies express themselves through crying. Your baby loves you. Indifference is your weapon. Your MIL is reveling in your supposedly hurt feelings, so no matter how you feel, you just need to be totally unaffected. I would also be constantly ready to put a grin on your face and have a remark such as, baby, you are always so mad at me when I wake you up. You must love your sleep as much as I do on deck if a situation pops up like this again. Take whatever MIL is considering a win and flip it into a no big deal. This happens all the time, non-event. Hopefully it'll take the wind right out of her sails. MIL is digging the grave for her and her son's relationship. I learned not to argue with my spouse about his mom's behavior and emotions anymore. I put down boundaries that I expected and they're being enforced so far. I ignore her behavior and don't indulge it, but now she has focused all of that back onto guilt tripping my husband and being dismissive of his feelings. She started arguing with him last night about us going out and also about us moving out soon, and he just stared at her the entire time, shook his head, then came in to help me finish packing. We were talking and he said to me, "I hate this life, what I want doesn't even matter anymore." I reminded him that it does and always will matter to me. It sounds like he's coming out of the fog. Being supposed of him without overtly criticizing his mom sounds like a good plan. Show him how much autonomy he has with you, that you care about his opinion, and he may see how little his mom does it. Hopefully you can move soon. What is it that your husband wants but isn't getting? Hopefully he sees through the fog and cuts down or cuts out interactions with his mom. You are doing exactly what you need to for you and your hubby, and I am glad for you both. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.